Welcome to part 2 of Competency 7. In this video, we will work with the average rate of change. Okay, number 1. The function f of x equals 25x to the third minus 99x squared plus 405x minus 190, where 5 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 10, represents a model for the estimated revenue f of x in $1 billion from sales of digital art from 2015 to 2020. What is the average rate of change? Now that's what we're looking at of the model from 2015 to 2020. Okay. First thing that you need to do is put the function in the calculator. When we are in the calculator, we look at the table. We're going to put it in as a table. And the interval on the table that we need is from 5 to 10. So we know that those are the values that we use. And this just so happens to be, this is your x1 and 10 is your x2. Okay? And when we have it in the calculator, we know exactly how to set this up. So let's go ahead and deal with the denominator. Okay, now let's go to our calculator and let's grab the numerator, okay? All right, so let's go to the table. I already have it popped in here. 25x to the third minus 99x squared. Okay, I'm double checking to make sure it's correct. Plus 405x. Yes, and then that should be minus 190. Okay, we're good. Now let's enter. Okay, and let's start at 10, not at 5. Okay, if we start at 10, then we know what to write immediately. Okay, and by steps of 1, because looks like everything is whole numbers here in our ABCD options. Okay, now let's go with auto because we want our table. Okay, now we know exactly what to do. We have 118, okay, 18,960. 1890. Okay, now you just arrow up to your 5 and grab that number. 2485. Nice. Now, second mode, set up your fraction. Let's put that in the calculator, okay? 60. Okay, minus 2485. Go down, and I know that 10 minus 5 is 5. But when I'm working with my video, I want you to see everything I put in. When you're taking the test, if you know it's 5, by all means, something very simple where you can't make a mistake, just put it in. I do this because I get tired, okay? And look, there is our option. And what I mean by tired is I'm not tired of pushing in buttons on the calculator. What I get tired of is constantly talking and thinking. And this way, I don't make mistakes. I allow my calculator to do the heavy lifting. Okay. So, and which is always good when you're taking a test. It also prevents fatigue during a test. I highly recommend using your calculator as much as possible. All right, number 2. What is the average rate of change for the function f of x equals x squared plus 5x plus 6 over the interval 2 to 6? Well, in this problem, they made it very simplistic. In the last problem, it was this long-winded scenario, which, okay, I get it. I understand where they got the scenario from, but still, this is getting down to the meat and potatoes. Okay, so let's pop that in the calculator. So clear that out. All right, x squared plus 5x and then plus a 6. Enter. This time we're using ask. Remember when I said saving time? Let's save ourselves some time here. Okay, there's the numbers that we need. Now, this was from prior, me playing with it, okay? All right, so I'm going to delete those out and show you, okay? So I'm going to set it up, and I know I have 6 minus 2 here, Okay, now what am I going to subtract? So first I do 6 because it comes first. 6 enter, that is 72. Then I just enter 2, and then have 20. Now I know exactly what to put in my calculator. And you could even pencil it out by hand, okay? But I'm going to go, oops. Remember, always go second mode. See how that wanted to stay in the cell. Always back out so it doesn't. Now put on your fraction, 72 minus the 20, go down, 6 minus 2, enter. 13 is the value that we need. Okay, let's go to number 3. Use the table of values to find the average rate of change over the interval, and they give you the interval. Okay, and the interval, when they give you the interval, you do realize, if you haven't already noticed, we're always talking about x. Okay, all right, that's what it will be. Okay, so we're going to go with this guy and this one, 3.5. Now that could change. That could ask you anything. They could ask you to compare two different intervals. It all depends. Okay, so what are we doing here? Well, I don't need to use my table. I just set up a fraction and go to this. These are my 2's, so they go in first. This is my y1 and my x1, so that would go in next. Okay, so I have my numerator. Remember, your numerator is your y values. I've made that mistake before. Okay, so 15 minus the 40, go down, and then I have 3.5 minus 1. Now I push enter, and it is actually negative 10. Okay, it is. Looks like in some cases it's decreasing and then it's increasing. Okay, so don't be fooled by that. All right. Okay, now let's go to number 4. Number 4, compute the average rate of change from A to B, from B to C, and from A to C. Which one gives the largest average rate of change? Okay, obviously the steepest slope is the largest or greatest average rate of change. So which one would that be here? Let me draw the lines. Okay, obviously that would be from A to B. So if you see that, A to B. Now, it's not as steep here from A to C, and it's even less from, see how it goes even more, it's a gentler slope, okay, from B to C. So obviously it's going to be A to B, but we can just quickly calculate those in the calculator and prove that. And if you look at, we're going to select which one is got the highest or steepest slope, which is the average rate of change, okay. D says the average rates of change are equal for all intervals. No, it's not. Okay, no, it's not. And remember, your intervals are actually what we look at on the X, from here to here, or here to here. Regardless, they give you the value of the points, they give you the ordered pairs. So we just look at our ordered pairs, okay? And remember your Y values, okay? Go look at it all in order as you calculate, and your Y values are the numerator, and your X values are your denominator. Okay, so we need a fraction. Let's do A to B first. So 9 minus 3 over 6 minus 3, that gives me 2. Okay, so I'm going to write 2 there. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to write, that's going to be 2. Okay, now, if you can tell what I'm writing, great. Okay, now let's do C to B. So we set up a fraction. Okay, and we have 11.2 minus 9, and then you go down and we have 9 minus 6, push enter, and that is actually 0.73 repeating. Okay, all right, to be precise. Okay, now let's do A to C. So you set up your fraction, and we have 11.2 again, then minus the 3. Our numerator is 9 minus the 3. Yes, 9 minus 3. Okay, and push enter, and that is equal to 1.3 with the 6 repeating. Okay, and obviously we've eliminated everything except for our A. A is what we're looking for. Okay, now let's look at number 5. The table below gives the velocity of a skydiver, a velocity of the skydiver t seconds into free fall. Okay, so regardless, they have t seconds. Well, they gave it to us with x and y. And in this case, in our calculator, we have x and y, but that's t is for our seconds, okay? And then the distance obviously is going to be our y. Okay. All right. During which interval was the average rate of change the highest? Okay, so we just have to put these in our calculator and calculate which one would be the greatest slope or average rate of change. Okay, well, let's see what we got here. First we have, let's do the denominator first. So that would be 20 minus 10. Now let's go do the numerator. Let's look for 20. So I see 171 and minus. Now go to your 10. 147. Okay, that would be 10 to 20. Right. And we need to use our toggle. Okay, so this one is 2.4. Now let's repeat the process. Okay, and again, I have the denominator 30 minus 10. Okay, and I know that you can see that 20, like I said before. I'm going to type it all out so you see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, but this time we're looking at 30. So that's 175 minus 1147. Okay, enter and use your toggle. That is 1.4. Okay, now again, and then my numerator 40 minus 20. Go back up, and for 40, that's what we have. 175.8 minus, but we need to go to 20, and that's 171. Okay, verify. We have 40 to 20. Yes, enter. And that is 0.24. Well, obviously, we're starting to eliminate some things. A is larger than both B and C. But let's check and see what D is because it's a longer interval, and let's see if that's going to be a greater value, a greater slope, okay? Although you should already know or be able to think about this. Just because the interval is greater doesn't mean that the slope is going to be greater. Okay? All right, so set up your fraction again. And this time we have 50 minus 20. Go up for 50. We have 176 minus. Now we need to go back to 20, which is the 171. Push enter and toggle. Yep, I had my suspicions. A is what we need. And this, to be precise, is 0.16 repeating. But obviously, it is not the greatest value or greatest slope. Okay, that's the last question in this video. And again, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And it is greatly appreciated for those of you who have liked us, shared us, and subscribed. I wish you all the best. Happy testing.